What if you gave up control of your entire life, every decision from breakfast to bedtime, handed over to a robot brain? For 7 days, I did exactly that. The results? Absolutely insane. The AI was my boss, chef, stylist, and social planner. I promised to follow every command no matter how weird. Could an AI optimize my life, or would it all crash and burn? Let's find out. Imagine waking up and not having to think. No more stressing about what to wear or eat. But what happens when the AI tells you to do something you absolutely hate? That's the real test. This is what happened when I let an AI control my life for a week. To pull off this challenge, we needed a powerful AI system, something that could handle every aspect of my daily life, from the tiniest details to the biggest decisions. I wanted to see what would happen if I handed over the reins of my brain to artificial intelligence, letting it guide me through every moment, every choice, and every interaction. It was a wild idea, but I was ready to dive in headfirst. So we built the Beast Brain, a custom AI setup designed to be my digital overlord for the week. This wasn't just a single app or a simple chatbot, it was a Frankenstein's monster of the best AI tools out there, all stitched together to create a system that could think, plan, and even joke for me. At the heart of it all was ChatGPT 4. This AI became my personal decision maker, taking over my schedule, planning my meals, and even dictating how I should interact with people. Every morning I'd wake up to a list of instructions: what to eat, who to talk to, what to say, and even how to say it. It was like having a super organized, slightly bossy assistant living in my phone. For my style, we brought in MidJourney. This AI generated wild, imaginative outfit images that looked like they belonged on a futuristic runway. Every day I'd get a new look, sometimes bold, sometimes bizarre, always unexpected. It pushed me way outside my comfort zone and made me see my wardrobe in a whole new light. My job? To recreate these digital masterpieces using only the clothes I already owned. That meant mixing patterns I'd never dare to combine, layering in ways that defied logic, and sometimes just hoping for the best. The results were unpredictable. Sometimes I felt like a fashion icon, other times like I'd lost a bet. The reactions? Absolutely priceless. I caught myself laughing at my own reflection, and my friends couldn't help but point and giggle at my latest AI-inspired ensemble. It was hilarious, a little embarrassing, and totally unforgettable. When it came to meals, the AI took full control. Each day it sent me recipes, sometimes surprisingly delicious, other times so strange I questioned my life choices. I found myself cooking with ingredients I'd never bought before, following step-by-step instructions from a digital chef who had no taste buds. And then there were the culinary experiments, like peanut butter and pickle pizza. Yes, you heard that right. Some meals were edible masterpieces, others were culinary nightmares that made me wish I could hit undo. My social life? That was in the AI's hands too. It told me who to call, what to say, and even how to keep the conversation going. I'd get prompts for small talk, reminders to check in on friends, and even suggestions for how to sound more interesting. The AI even supplied me with jokes. Some were actually funny, others landed with a thud. My friends were equal parts amused and confused, never quite sure if I was being myself or channeling my inner robot. Living like this felt surreal, like I was following a script written by a robot that had read about humans but never actually met one. Every interaction was a little bit off, a little bit uncanny, but always entertaining. The system was a mashup of ChatGPT for decisions, MidJourney for style, and a whole lot of trust from me. It was a leap of faith, letting go of control and letting the algorithms take over. I had to trust the process, trust the tech, and trust that I wouldn't end up in too much trouble. It was equal parts exciting and terrifying, but I was all in. What could possibly go wrong? As it turns out, when you let AI become your new brain, the answer is absolutely anything. Day one started with chaos, and I had no idea just how much my life was about to be turned upside down. The moment my eyes fluttered open, I could sense that something was different. There was a strange energy in the air, like the universe was holding its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. My alarm went off at 5 a.m., a time I usually reserve for deep, blissful sleep. But today, the AI had other plans. Its first message flashed on my phone. Rise and shine. It's time to embrace the unexpected. The AI's first command? 30 minutes of laughter yoga in my backyard. I'd never even heard of laughter yoga before, but apparently it's a real thing. There I was, in my pajamas, standing on the dewy grass, forcing myself to laugh at nothing in particular while the sun barely peeked over the horizon. I fake laughed in the dark, my voice echoing through the quiet neighborhood. My neighbors, drawn by the bizarre sounds, peeked over their fences. Their faces ranged from amused to deeply concerned, and I could almost hear them whispering, "Has he finally lost it?" After my impromptu comedy show, the AI announced it was time for breakfast. But not just any breakfast, a power smoothie that looked like it was designed by a mad scientist. Spinach, raw egg, sardines, and banana all went into the blender. The smell alone was enough to make me question my life choices. I took a tentative sip and instantly regretted it. It tasted like fishy banana sludge, with a hint of something unidentifiable lurking beneath the surface. I gagged, but the AI insisted I finish every drop. Apparently, optimal nutrition doesn't always mean edible. As I choked down the last of the smoothie, my phone buzzed again. The AI was relentless, already lining up my next task. There was no time to recover, no time to question why I'd agreed to this experiment in the first place. For work, the AI had me research the history of garden gnomes for 2 hours instead of doing my actual job. I dove deep into the world of tiny ceramic figures, learning about their origins in 19th century Germany and their surprising popularity across Europe. My boss, meanwhile, was less than impressed with my sudden expertise in lawn ornaments. My coworkers shot me confused glances as I filled pages with gnome trivia. I tried to look busy, but it was hard to explain why I was so invested in the migration patterns of mythical garden creatures. The day ended with a social challenge that pushed my embarrassment threshold to new heights. The AI instructed me to go to a coffee shop, order a drink, and approach a stranger while impersonating Bugs Bunny. I put on my best, "Hey, what's up, Doc?" and shuffled over to a bewildered customer. The stranger took one look at me, grabbed their coffee, and left without a word. By the time I got home, I was exhausted, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I crossed off day 1 on my calendar, realizing with a sinking feeling that I had 6 more days of this madness ahead. The AI was unpredictable, awkward, and relentless. It seemed to take a certain joy in pushing me to my limits, never letting me settle into any kind of routine. Every command forced me further out of my comfort zone, making me confront fears and insecurities I didn't even know I had. I was learning that growth doesn't happen in the safety of routine, but in the chaos of the unknown. I realized quickly, this was going to be a wild ride, one filled with unexpected twists, awkward encounters, and more than a few questionable smoothies. And it was only the beginning. If day 1 was any indication, the week ahead would be anything but ordinary. Day 2, the AI's fashion sense went off the rails. My outfit? CEO meets clown pinstripe suit, rainbow bow tie, red shoes, yellow wig. Walking into the office like that, no one could take me seriously. Lunch was a can of cold spinach, Popeye style, eaten in my clown suit. The AI's sense of style and taste was bizarre and joyless. That evening, it told me to paint my living room wall energetic orange for better feng shui. My family was shocked. My living room looked ridiculous. The AI was redecorating my life, one terrible decision at a time. By day 3, I begged the AI for a productive schedule. It scheduled my day in 5-minute blocks. Answer 1 email, do push-ups, meditate, write 1 sentence, repeat. I got nothing done. It was chaos, not productivity. Day 4, the AI wanted me to learn bagpipes. I spent hours making horrible noises and annoying everyone. The AI's idea of optimization was a disaster. It didn't understand focus, flow, or creativity. Humans need flexibility and deep work. AI just fills time slots. By the end, I was further behind than ever. The experiment was proving AI can't manage a human life. Day 5, the AI took over my social life. It made me call an old friend and open with, "Salutations, former acquaintance. My algorithm has determined our friendship bond has degraded by 87%. The conversation was painfully awkward. For family dinner, the AI picked a 1950s menu and made me refer to my parents as Unit 1 and Unit 2. My family was concerned. I felt like a robot. The AI had no emotional intelligence, just scripts and data. It turned simple moments into sterile, uncomfortable interactions. Human connection isn't a math problem. The AI failed at the most human part of life, relationships. Day 6, the AI made its biggest blunder. It told me to throw a Viking luau surprise party for my friend Chris, without checking if he was available. I decorated, cooked, and invited everyone. Chris was on a plane to Colorado. The party went on without him. It was awkward and pointless. The AI focused on logistics and theme, but missed the obvious. Check the guest of honor's schedule. It was a massive, expensive mistake. AI can't replace common sense. Sometimes the simplest human check is the most important. The party flop proved it. Day 7, the final task, sit in a park for an hour. No phone, just observe. It sounded simple, almost too simple, but after a week of constant stimulation and digital noise, it felt like a challenge. I found a quiet spot under a tree, the kind of place I would have never noticed before. The world seemed to slow down as I settled in, and for the first time in days I felt a sense of peace. After a week of chaos, this was a gift. I watched the world, felt the sun, and finally relaxed. The birds chirped, children laughed, and the wind rustled the leaves. It was a symphony of life that I had been too busy to hear. I realized how much I had missed these simple pleasures, drowned out by the constant buzz of notifications and alerts. Turning off the beast brain felt incredible. I could make my own choices again. No more algorithms dictating my every move, no more data-driven decisions. It was liberating to trust my instincts, to follow my own path without second-guessing every step. I felt a weight lift off my shoulders, a newfound freedom that was both exhilarating and a bit daunting. The AI pushed me out of my comfort zone, but its lack of common sense and emotional intelligence made it a terrible life manager. It was like having a well-meaning but clueless assistant who just didn't get it. Sure, it could optimize my schedule and remind me of tasks, but it couldn't understand the nuances of human emotions or the importance of spontaneity. It created awkwardness, inefficiency, and one epic party fail. The AI's idea of a perfect party was a meticulously planned event with no room for improvisation. It was a disaster, a stark reminder that some things can't be programmed. The best moments in life are often the unplanned ones, the spontaneous bursts of joy that no algorithm can predict. Life isn't a series of data points to optimize. It's a rich tapestry of experiences, emotions, and connections. Reducing it to a set of metrics strips away its essence. I learned that while data can inform decisions, it shouldn't dictate them. There's a beauty in the unpredictability of life, in the moments that can't be measured or quantified. It's about connection, intuition, and making your own choices, even the bad ones. The missteps and mistakes are just as important as the successes. They shape us, teach us, and make us who we are. The AI couldn't understand that. It saw mistakes as failures, but I came to see them as opportunities for growth. The AI could give me commands, but it couldn't give me a life worth living. It could tell me what to do, but it couldn't tell me why it mattered. It lacked the depth and understanding that make life meaningful. I realized that true fulfillment comes from within, from following your heart and embracing the journey, not just the destination. That's something only we can do for ourselves. We have the power to create our own happiness, to build a life that reflects our values and passions. It's a responsibility and a privilege that no machine can take away. In the end, it's our choices, our connections, and our experiences that define us. I'd never been more grateful to be human. The week had been challenging, but it had also been enlightening. I rediscovered the joy of living in the moment, the importance of human connection, and the power of making my own choices. It was a journey back to myself, a reminder that in a world increasingly driven by technology, our humanity is our greatest asset. So, would you let an AI control your life? This challenge was wild, but I wouldn't recommend it full-time. The best part? Breaking my routine and trying new things. The worst? Awkward social moments and the party disaster. AI is a tool, not a replacement for human intuition or connection. Would you try this experiment? What would you let AI control? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching this crazy journey.